Okay, it may seem backwards. It's actually a good thing that U.S. foreclosures are rising, at least if we want to see a housing recovery anytime soon. Ashley Webster joins us now with the domestic details. You get in a lot of trouble for saying what I just said there, that it's good that foreclosures are rising. It's not good for the people that are being foreclosed upon. We feel for them for sure.
We do, but for the overall economy, this is very important. Well, the good news is, put it this way, the foreclosure activity down 8% actually across the country last month. But perhaps the even better news is we are seeing the number of foreclosures rise in the bigger cities. It's encouraging because finally we may be getting these distressed properties out of the system. There's basically a pipeline of foreclosures that's clogged, and what we need is to move those out of there so we can actually get a recovery both in home prices but in the industry overall. A big reason for some of this unclogging, and that's not the best word, but that's the best way to describe it, is the major banks, the 5 big banks, got this mortgage settlement deal with the government, $26 billion. What it does really is clarify the foreclosure process. It should enable banks to move these properties through quicker and enable the overall industry to recover quicker. That's the theory, because some of these properties have been in limbo now for, well, anywhere from 18 months to years. There are people living in properties basically squatting. They haven't paid a dime in 5 years. So if you're sitting there, you're trying to sell your house on a street where there are 3 foreclosures, you're not going to be able to sell it because the prices are so depressed until we get this out of the system.
Right, and it's good for people who are trying to be first-time home buyers.
Exactly.
Get in there and get something for a good value. It's positive for neighbors who are trying to see their neighborhood recover. So we just want to get through this whole cycle as quickly as possible.
Because, you know, there are those that will say we cannot have an economic recovery without the housing market coming back, and we need that to gain traction. We need to have a floor. We're many years into it, but we could still be many more years out. I wanted to talk about, we've seen the same usual suspects when it comes to where are the highest amount of foreclosure filings. Well, last month, no big surprise here, the #1 state was Nevada, followed by, and it was 1 in every 278 households received foreclosure filings. Now, that includes repossessions, defaults, and auction notices. It's really sad. I mean, you know, this is a market, this is a state where you're going to have a long recovery. California, 1 in 283, Arizona 3rd, Georgia 4th. And let's take a look at the metro cities to see which cities received the most, households received the most foreclosures. #1, Riverside, San Bernardino, east of L.A., 1 in every 166 households. That's remarkable. If you know how densely populated that area is. That's an extremely high number. Atlanta coming in 2nd, Phoenix #3. We know that Phoenix has been struggling with this for many years, and Miami also 1 in every 264. Florida also a state that overbuilt as the bubble burst. But we've got to get these foreclosures into the system and through before we can ever get any sort of recovery in the market.
So they're accelerating. Do we have any sense if they're topping out or?
No, because unfortunately this big deal between the banks and the government did not cover Fannie and Freddie, and you know, close to 50% of all mortgages in this country are held by those entities. So the actual number of households helped by that agreement is actually fairly small given the overall picture.
Did you solve the Greek crisis? That's why you're here working on this?
Spain, done.
Spain, too? You had time for Spain?
It was a 2-for-1 special.
You are fantastic. Ashley Webster, well done.
Now we're looking at the housing.
Now work on housing for us. Thank you. That's your next.